Welcome to the JIBC Library. This short video will introduce you to the services and resources for our paramedic students. The JIBC Library staff welcome you to the JIBC Library. JIBC students registered in certificate, diploma, and degree programs may borrow from the library. In addition, BC paramedics may also borrow. The JIBC Library provides a free mailing service to those who are unable to come to the New Westminster campus. You receive a prepaid mailing label to return material to the library. You may borrow for 4 weeks with one renewal for an additional 4 weeks. You may put holds on books that are out, and you may reserve DVDs for specific dates. Regional and rural students may choose to borrow from their local university or college library, as long as you take your current student ID with you. E-resources. All JIBC students have access to some amazing licensed e-resources. The username and password to access these e-resources is provided in your course materials or your online course. If you have trouble finding it, contact the library. Always check the library website for contact information, up-to-date opening hours, and announcements. Remember, the Ask Away virtual chat reference service is available outside JIBC library hours. Now let's go on a tour of the library website. We are going to focus on the paramedic resources. On the main library page, you can do a search in the main keyword box. For example, if you type airway management in the main search box, you will be searching nearly all the library resources. Your results will include journal articles, books, ebooks, and DVDs. You can limit your results by looking on the left-hand side, where you will limit to journal articles or a specific date range. Also, on the left-hand side under source types, you can add further limits such as books or ebooks or DVDs. You can also access specific paramedic resources on the right-hand side of your results list. Note that if you are off campus, you will be prompted to log in with the username and password. If you want to go directly to all the resources for paramedic students, you can go to the Paramedic Subject Guide from the main library webpage. This is found in the Find column under Subject Guides. Scroll down to Paramedic. Remember to keep an eye on the subject guide as we do add new resources as they become available. In this section, we will focus on the top resources of the Paramedic Subject Guide. In Access Medicine, you have full-text access to over 80 ebooks. In addition, when you create a My Access profile, you will have access to many more resources. The extra resources in My Access profile include study tools, where you can access flashcards and games, case files, multimedia for videos, drug information with images, and more. In order to keep your My Access profile active, you need to access it at least once every 90 days via the JIBC Library website. Now let's go back to the Paramedic Subject Guide Top Resources. There are several resources here that we will point out but won't go into in great detail. These include streaming media, which is called Bates, also a clinical reference tool updated daily called Dynamed, and the ECPS Drug Manual. The ebook academic collection includes a wide variety of topics in a format that can be downloaded and borrowed, or read online. Now we're going to look at a few more resources in greater detail. Anatomy TV is a great resource for anatomy and physiology, including interactive modules of the human body, 3D anatomy, individual organs, and regional body system. Let's go on a tour. Remember, you will need the library username and password if you are off campus. From the list of choices, choose Anatomy and Physiology. In this resource, you can click on a specific system to access the information. Let's use the nervous system as an example. Click on the nervous system. Each module is set up in a similar fashion. Try to become familiar with the icons on the far left sidebar. In particular, the interactive learning and quizzes. The left-hand sidebar with the heading Topics, beside the left-hand icons, is like a table of contents. When you click on a topic heading, the related information is displayed on the right-hand sidebar. An interactive image in the center is where you can add layers and rotate the image. You can also move an image from the right-hand sidebar to the center by clicking on it. That was just a very quick tour of Anatomy and Physiology online. Now let's visit 3D Atlas. In 3D Atlas, let's use the head and neck as an example. Similar to the previous Anatomy and Physiology resource, it is important to become familiar with the icons on the left-hand sidebar. They provide you with lots of detailed information and different modes of viewing the structures. For example, MRI, slides, movies, and more. As you scroll over the image in the center of your screen, you will see labels pop up. If you click on a specific part of the image, check the text on the right. You can also add layers and rotate the image by moving the frames or clicking on the image and rotating it. I'm sure you will agree that this is a pretty cool resource. I hope you will take some extra time to explore it more fully. Now, let's exit the 3D Atlas and move to 3D Real-Time. Let's use the shoulder and arm as our example. Sometimes 3D Real-Time takes a minute to install. Again, the left-hand sidebar gives you various options. For example, to read the text, add labels or push pins, take a photo of the image. Note that you can add systems by clicking on the options to the right of the image. For example, arteries, bones, ligaments, and more. Let's go back to the subject guide, Top Resources again. Last but not least, in this Top Resources section of the subject guide, you can access more medical textbooks through StatRef. Once you click on StatRef, if you click on Accept the Terms, you will then be in the resource. We have a limited number of concurrent users for StatRef, so always remember to log out when you are finished. In StatRef, you can either select a specific book from the bookshelf, or you can do a search in the search box to search all titles at once. Here's how you find a great figure of a neuron structure. In this case, we'll go directly to a specific book entitled Essentials of Anatomy and Physiology. If you click on Chapter 8, the nervous system, and scroll down and click on Figure 8-1, neuron structure, you will notice the great images and visuals. Now let's try a sample search of all the titles. We'll click on Home, which is beside the bookshelf. Type anaphylaxis in the search box. The results are in relevance order, so click on the View in New Window for the one you want to look at. If you scroll through it, you'll get an idea of the kind of information you can find. Note at the top of the record, you will see a little chain link. If you click on that chain link, you can use this to email the link to yourself. Note that StatRef is also available as a mobile app in iTunes or the Google Play Store. Once you download the app to your mobile device, you can go to StatRef through the JIBC library. On the StatRef homepage, at the top right, you will see something that says My StatRef. Follow the prompts to set up a My StatRef account. When you use the StatRef app on your mobile device, look for a headset icon to convert text to voice so you can have the book read to you. Always remember to log out of StatRef. Now let's go back to the Paramedic subject guide to see a few more resources. On the right-hand sidebar, you will see we have done some searches for you on certain topics. In the Browse Titles by Subject area, if you click on one of the topics, you will see a list of results of library books and DVDs. Back on the subject guide, in the lower right-hand sidebar, you will see the heading Bibliographies. This again is lists of books and DVDs on certain topics at the JIBC library. Back at the top of the subject guide, you will see tabs for Cite Your Sources and Writing and Study Help. If you click on Cite Your Sources, you will be taken to the JIBC Library APA Guide. The JIBC uses APA style for reference lists and in-text citations. You must cite all the sources you use, so keep track of them as soon as you start your research. You will find the help you need on this APA guide. Read through the guide to learn about in-text citations and how to set up your reference list. You can access the PDF of the APA 6th edition citation guide by JIBC librarians here on this subject guide. You can also access a very handy APA tutorial, and you can find examples for citing different kinds of sources by clicking on the tabs across the top. Remember that any essay you hand in must provide references in APA style. Let's go back to the library homepage to review what we've covered. Search Me, the big blue search box on the main library homepage, includes articles, books, ebooks, DVDs, and some streaming media. To go to all the Paramedic resources in one place, go to the subject guide in the Find column. The APA guide is also available from the library homepage or from the Paramedic subject guide. Remember I mentioned Ask Away as a virtual chat reference service staffed by librarians around the province. Check the library website for current Ask Away hours, which may extend past JIBC library hours. Always check the library website for up-to-date hours for JIBC library and Ask Away. We hope that this overview has been useful, and we wish you good luck in your studies and careers.